Welcome to another episode of Called to Marriage. My name is Thomas.
And I'm here. Oh my gosh. I'm here with my husband, Thomas.
Did you get confused by this?
Yeah, I don't know what I got. Okay.
Anyway.
I'm Marcia.
Living on one income as a married couple or as a family can be challenging. And in the previous episode, we talked about how we started and our experience living on one income. And today we want to continue the conversation and share more light on some of our specific experiences. And we hope that this teaches you something if you are considering living on one income, or if you just want to learn about how a different family live. Does that sound like a good intro?
Sure.
How has it been for us living on one income?
It's been great overall. So in the part one of this, we talked about how we actually started out living on one income, which was my income, and then going, transitioning to both of us working for a very short period of time and then to Thomas's income. So we basically kept the same trend. We have kept a very similar trend anyway to what we started with, which is a trend of transparency and oneness in our finances, So even though he brings in the bacon, so to speak, it comes into a shared bank account and we both see what's, there, and we both make decisions. We both pay the bills. We spend money together.
Yeah.
And we talk through most purchases. And for another couple who's, making more money, they may, have a limit that if I'm going to spend $100, then that's when I'll tell my husband, frivolous spending to them is $30, $40. Yeah. Yeah. But for me, if I'm going to spend $20, I'm talking to Thomas, unless it's part of our everyday, gas and groceries. If
I don't micromanage that, by the way.
No, it's just that because our budget is modest, I'm not going to wait until I spend $100. $100 is a lot of money for us. So I always am talking to Thomas about what I spend so we talk to each other, and I think I'm framing it a lot because I do spend a lot of the money. But, and this is another thing too about living on one income. From my perspective, now that I'm not the one working, I need to live within my husband's income, whatever it is. It's enough. We're not starving. It's modest, yes, but we're not starving. We're not homeless or anything like that. So the money is enough. It's enough. So we have to figure out how to make it work, even if it means Charlie has less toys, even if it means we eat out less often, whatever the case, I have to make sure that I live within my husband's means. And that works, for us. I don't do it perfectly. Sometimes the money's tight, but we do the best that we can. And we just, forego things that it makes you, think a little bit harder about what's really necessary in life, Yeah.
The wants and needs become very clear.
Yep. There's temptation as a mom, you want to buy everything for your kid. You're at the store. This toy is nice. These clothes are nice. You would love to spend everything. But the truth is, children don't need a lot. Yeah. They don't need a lot at all. I'm sure you guys have seen, if you've seen some of our Charlie content, you've seen him drumming with cardboard, sticks. You've seen him playing with all kinds of funny things. And, people have been making memes about that around the holiday season. This Christmas, people have been making funny videos about how kids just want a pen and a remote control and a banana, simple, but that's literally it. That's seriously it. We kind of teach our kids to.
We do it for ourselves.
We generally, we kind of teach our kids to this is a gift, open it, get excited about it. This is something special. It's not your everyday thing. And we teach them to play with it. And, but if you leave them to their own devices, they are creative. They find all kinds of ways to play. And so anyway, I'm just using that as an example, even clothes, we have a friend at our church who has a son who's probably going to be their last kid. And he's a year older than Charlie. And they give us all his hand-me-downs. And when I tell you, I hardly buy anything for this child. Even me, people give me clothes. This blazer came from my grandmother, and I just throw it on. And you guys know, well, I don't know.
I got this from my wife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She got me this, which I really appreciate.
Thank you. So, and like I had locks, you guys know I was trying to simplify, but now I've cut my hair because I don't want to pay anybody to maintain my hair. So when I realized that the style was not working for me, I'm okay with cutting it off. I want to be simple. It's low maintenance and it doesn't cost me any money. So, those are the practical things, when it comes to living on one income / living on a modest income, living on your husband's income or whatever. Like those are the things that we, are thinking about, that we work through. And, that's how we simplify.
And this is what, we do. Certainly, we're not saying that everyone should live like that. But I think for me, it's good because I consider us still in our planting stage. We are now growing and nurturing things. So we have a lot of values that we care about, simplicity being one of them, oneness being one. So it really puts us exactly where we need to be. So as challenging as it could be sometimes, it works for us. Mm-hmm. It's good. It forces us to do the work we need to do when it comes to our communication, because if you're living on one income, you can't joke with your communication.
Right. Yeah.
You have to be forthcoming. You have to over-communicate sometimes just to make sure that your partner is on the same page with you. Great for us. We want that. We want to grow in our communication. And it means that we are constantly being put in a situation where we have to be one because, everything is one. Our income is even one.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
So those values become nurtured and developed, and we are growing in all those areas. So whereas on one side, oh gosh.
All right, guys, slight technical difficulty, but we're back. Speaking of advantages, my husband was talking about, the advantage of us being able to communicate, or being forced rather to communicate more often, which is actually healthy for our marriage and getting into alignment, about our finances. And but another advantage of living on one income, what was the advantage? I lost my train of thought. I remember. Another advantage is that it's not really about living on one income. It's because as a result of living on one income, I can be home. I don't have to go out to work. So that means I'm able to be home with Charlie, and we don't have to pay for daycare. So we actually end up saving money in that sense, because daycare is really expensive. So I get the advantage of being the person who gets to care for him as his mother, but also not having to spend that money on daycare. And it's not just on daycare, it's even on like food, because like I remember, I went to public school. I remember growing up in school, and like you have to send your kids with lunch, and
you have to pack lunch for them. Yeah.
Right. And it's not, you can't necessarily send them with the same thing that they would eat at home. Like the teacher might not necessarily microwave rice and chicken.
Yeah.
But when he's home, I'm home with Charlie. So Charlie eats anything that we eat all day. Right. He's eating what we're eating. Great. Yeah, I don't have to set, like mozzarella sticks and grapes and whatever like people send their kids to school with these days, which was fun. I remember living it. It was fun. It's nice to be a toddler in that sense, or to be, a school kid. But
it's not a flashback.
Yeah.
When I was young. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't have to worry about that. And that would be an expense to make sure I have like that right kind of food that's like send to schoolable, you know, like.
Yeah. So we get to be the primary caregivers. It also plays into our value for, family. We eat together as a family. We do everything together. Charlie sits with us. We pray together. So we get to teach him a lot. And we get to do a lot together, which is good for our bond, as far as being a family is concerned, which is great. It's not something we can do when, if we send Charlie out to the daycare. So we get to teach him all these things, all these values, and we also get to bond together as a family. And this is his formative years, or these are his formative years. So it's really crucial. Everything we're teaching him, he would not get, at daycare. Now, you can argue that he's also missing out on a few things, but it doesn't matter. We want him to get these things at this foundational level. So living this way gives us that opportunity. My wife gets to stay home with him, and they go out, they do other things too, but primarily he gets all the care he needs. He gets all the attention he needs. She stays and she's able to take care of him. She's the mom. Nobody can take care of Charlie better than she can. So it's great. It works for us. Never mind saving money on daycare and other things. The real value, the intrinsic value here is that we get to nurture our child in the way that we want to. And we also get to grow together as family, which I think are great.
I'm not sure how many other, if I have any other points necessarily, but I just want to say something regarding this. As women, I know it's really hard to make this decision to stay home. And I'm talking to women because we are the ones who mainly have to make this decision because we are the ones who deliver the child. So by force, we have to be home for a period of time. And then hopefully we're nursing the child because nursing them is best for them. It's ideal if we can do that for a whole year, right?
Yeah.
Until they learn to eat solid foods well. And so the onus is on us, and it can feel, like a lot of pressure. It can feel scary. It can feel daunting. And also it may not be within some people's reality too. But what I want to say, I don't think you should feel bad whether you work or whether you don't work. But what I want to say is this matter of raising your children and being very much involved and intentional about how their, upbringing is and how most of their time is spent. I think this is something that we as parents generally should take really, really seriously. And I do think, particularly in America, that there are a lot of families who say that they couldn't live on one income, but if we could live on one income, I know so many families can live on one income who do not. Yeah. They feel like they can't because it's scary to think of, or because, they want the finer things of life or whatever. And that's subjective, by the way. I understand, there is a level of subjectivity as to what it means to parent your child well. But there are some things that the Bible does prescribe us to do and even command us to do. And we have to make sure that we are doing that. Mm-hmm. And so it's up to you what that's going to look like. But I just want to encourage you, if you're like on the fence about it and you kind of know that you probably have the room to live on one income, then really seriously consider it. And on the other hand, if you are in a situation that you really just can't right now, you shouldn't feel bad about it, because there are those. And people look at us and maybe feel bad, like, oh, we live modestly. I don't know why they should feel bad anyway. I think we live great. But there are those who live in even more modest circumstances than us. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment. There are people who live in a 1-bedroom. There are people who live in a studio with multiple kids. There are people who live, and sometimes, wife does have to work just because, in different places, payment is different, People don't have the same privileges all the time. Mm-hmm. And also, to be, transparent and real about it, even though I don't work formally or I don't work a 9-to-5, I try to put time into, I just touched the mic. I try to put time into our aspirations, our business aspirations. And so there's a sense in which I kind of work if we want to be, whatever about it. And so, I'm not saying it's bad. I do though, and the reason why we're aspiring toward, start owning a business is that we will still be able to be, have that flexibility and spend that time with our child. I know business is time consuming. I do know that. However, we get to make decisions that we feel are
Right.
important to make for our family and for our child. And so that intentionality, it's not because I know the future and I just know we're going to succeed and it's so easy. No, like it's probably going to be really hard.
Of the challenges.
Right. As a matter of fact, it's hard already. But
Yeah.
our conviction is so strong about, what we want to do for our
Yeah.
family, for our children.
Right.
So just move according to your deep godly convictions.
Yeah.
That's my encouragement. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things are challenging in life. Let's be honest. Really, everything is challenging in life. Going to school, getting the college degree, so many things are challenging. Financially, how many people are in debt for going to college? But we do it.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Why? Because it's worth it.
Sometimes because we don't know any better too.
No, right. But at least we think it's worth it.
Yeah.
And so we go for it despite all the challenges.
Right.
So you can make an argument for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, we do attempt to do a lot of challenging things as human beings once we can find value in that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not different from anything in life. Can it be challenging? Yeah, it can. Maybe, depending on your circumstances. Like my wife said, maybe it doesn't even work for you at all. Like you can't even conceive the idea of living on one income because your challenge would be, well, I can't forgo this. I can't stop living this way. I can't stop living that way. Then so be it. If you decide, there's no way I'm going to be able to cut this off. And so there is an element of sacrifice in everything we do in life. Mm-hmm. Everything. I save money today so I can have a better tomorrow. It's sacrificial. Mm-hmm. Another person chooses, I'm not going to be able to not get this than I want. I would rather get it and I'll figure out tomorrow. So there's always an element of sacrifice, and that's the part that I think we have understood. We thought deeply about this. We prayed about it, and we launched forward. And so far, it's great. Never mind even having our faith increase, because we've been through some challenging times.
Oh yeah.
But even to see where we are now,
yeah,
it's just rewarding of our faith. It's like, yeah, of course. If you really want it, you can get it. Now, what that means is that obviously everything matters. Everything you do matters, so we have to sit, talk through things, consider things, but it's still good. It's still good. The whole process has been so rewarding to us as husband and wife, to us as a family, for our aspirations, things we look forward to. It's just been great. And maybe that would not be a story, and that's fine, but it's always possible. The message I want to deliver here is that you as a family, husband and wife, the two of you can sit down and put your mind to something and work toward it and get the best out of it. So the actual reward is not in anything but, the persons we become. We've grown closer to each other. We've become, better people. We become a better family. We become a stronger family. And we think together. We are sincere. We are open about things. We are growing in all the right places we want to grow. So the whole process has been rewarding to us. Now, maybe you're also living on one income and it's tearing your family apart. Let's assume, because we have to talk about that too. So if it's not making you into the people you need to be, and if you're not allowing yourselves to be made into the better selves that you can be as Christians, we want to become more like Christ. If you're not seeing that, you don't also have to strangle yourself and say, no, you have to live on, I'm not working. That's not how it is. We talk through everything. Like she said, she works on our business. There are things that she goes out, she spends hours and, she looks through things, she does certain things for us, she's sending out email, reaching out to this person, reading things to me, telling me what I need to be looking at and whatnot. Sit down, if you're a married couple, and forge your path with Christ. Sit together, put your minds together. Let the process discipline you. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's living on one income or it's doing A or doing B. You two need to put your heads together. You are better off working together on anything than doing it alone. That's the point.
So all the best to you and your families. If you have questions, leave them in a comment below.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube anyway. I don't know where you can leave comments on Spotify and Anchor and podcast players, but you can reach out to us on YouTube. You can reach out to us on TikTok. We're very lively in those two places.
Yeah.
Even on Instagram, even on Facebook too, I would say. But yeah, so leave us comments, ask us questions, and please like the video if you liked it, if you found it interesting, even if you didn't agree. I mean, we don't agree with people on every 100% of everything,
yeah.
but if you mostly thought it was good content, if you feel like it gave you something to think about, like it.
And if you think it would benefit someone, you can also share it to them.
Yes, share it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for being with us today.
Yes.
See you in the next episode.